Netanyahu's at the White House, what was it, a dozen times in the last year, 7 times maybe in the last year, proposing follow-on strikes, expanded operations. He told Trump that any deal with Iran must include elements vital to Israel. Must. Not we'd prefer, not we'd appreciate, must. You got a foreign head of state telling the American president, funding them, that American foreign policy must serve his country's interests. And this morning, it does. At the cost of American lives, probably, and American treasure. And the talks were working. Diplomacy was producing results, and Netanyahu killed it. He preempted the peace process with a military operation that his own officials say was planned for months. And remember, Netanyahu said the goal is to remove the existential threat. Israel's defense minister called it a preemptive attack to remove threats to the state of Israel. They're not hiding it. They're saying openly on the record that this is about Israeli security, achieved with American weapons, flown by American pilots, protected by American sailors, paid for by American taxpayers who are $39 trillion in debt. And also, they don't care what comes next for Iran. Chaos is fine for them because it means that their regional rival is declawed. If there's chaos in Iran, their regional rival, then Iran can't oppose them in any way. They're happy about that. They don't care if there's a humanitarian crisis. They don't care that just like after other failed advances in the Middle East, that you had failed states and refugees pouring into Europe. They don't care about that stuff. They just care that they can't be opposed in their region. And meanwhile, the countries that actually border Iran, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman, UAE, Kuwait, every single one of them said, don't do it. They refused, in fact, to let us use their bases. They lobbied for diplomacy because they live there. They knew what would happen. I mean, Dubai is getting hit today. Bahrain's getting hit today. They're getting hit today. Oman got hit today. Iranian missiles are landing on their soil because we started a war that they asked us not to start. So let's just be very clear about the chain of influence that produced this morning. So you got captured think tanks that write the policy. You got Shapiro, Levin, corporate media, and other shills, Rubin, try to sell it to the public. Public says no. 80% opposed. Graham and Cotton provide the political infrastructure and cover. Netanyahu lobbies the president directly. You've got the AIPAC and the other Israel First PACs and the Adelsons giving Trump hundreds of millions of dollars, preempts working peace negotiation, and everybody plans this operation for months while pretending to support diplomacy. That's the pipeline. And here's the thing that needs to be said clearly on a day like this. None of them will serve. None of them will send their children. None of them will be on those bases that got hit this morning. FDD will publish a lessons learned paper and raise more money for the next policy. Shapiro and Levin will be behind microphones where they have always been and where they always will be. Graham and Cotton will issue statements calling your kid a hero, put a flag pin on, look somber on camera, and then go back to the same offices where they built the architecture for this war to start building the architecture for the next one. Netanyahu will give a speech about the unbreakable bond between America and Israel from a podium in Jerusalem, not from a base in Kuwait, pulling missile fragments out of concrete, not from a school in southern Iran, pulling children out of rubble, from Jerusalem, where he's safe, where he's always been safe. None of them will bear any cost. They never do. The costs are yours, mine.